Okay, everybody, I'm doing this video to show you how to do grade passback from Canvas to PowerSchool. So Jade has been kind enough to let me use her account as an example. So I'm going to go into this class she has. And the first thing I'm going to do is go to assignments, the assignments group over here on the left. And then we have to import assignment groups. So you might have already created some assignment groups, or maybe you haven't. That's totally okay because we have to actually import the assignment groups from PowerSchool. So we're going to click these three dots next to the blue assignments. And I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to say import assignment groups. Now it could take 5 to 10 minutes for the assignment groups to import. I did this ahead of time, and so when I scroll down, I see these assignment groups in here, and I know they're the ones from PowerSchool because they have the arrow to a piece of paper, and it says when I hover over it, imported from PowerSchool. So these are the categories that you eventually have to get all of your assignments in order for them to go to PowerSchool. So I'm just going to grab one of these to use as an example, and I'm going to put it underneath the project. And so in order for an assignment to go to PowerSchool, it has to have a short enough name, it has to have a unique name, it also has to have a due date. The next thing is you have to have this little green arrow marked. So originally it has an X and it's black, which means it's not going to go to PowerSchool. But if you click on it, it turns green, and that means that this assignment is going to sync into PowerSchool. Now, you can also do percentages. So like if you want these categories to be weighted differently, you can click these three dots and say edit, and then say the percentage that you want it to be. If you don't want to weight categories, you just want to go based on points, then you'll just leave these as 0. But in order for it to go into PowerSchool, you have to have this green check mark checked, has to have a due date, has to have a short enough name. I'm also going to show you within the assignment. So I'm going to click on this assignment. When you're creating assignments or editing them, after you have all of this done, if you scroll down, if you check this box in the process of making the assignment, it will also cause that little green circle with arrows and the check mark to turn green. And then, of course, your due date. That will indicate that it's going to go to PowerSchool. So I'm going to go back to assignments. So once again, all of these, if you want them to go to PowerSchool, they all have to end up down here in the categories that come from PowerSchool. This is good because I know some of you have been putting grades in PowerSchool, so you can choose from this point on to the rest of the semester or next semester. You can choose what gets synced into PowerSchool by clicking the little green check mark. All right, so now how do we sync to PowerSchool? We've got it all set up. How do we get it to actually do it? Well, we go to grades, and we click on actions, and we choose sync to sys. Underneath actions, sync to sys. And then after you do that and you've clicked on that, you can go to the grade sync button that's on the left hand side and see what's happened. So I ran a sync and it says completed, but it's got this red exclamation point. That means that no, absolutely not, the assignment did not get imported into PowerSchool. If it says completed and it has a green check mark, that means it has to have a green check mark for it to show that it has gone to PowerSchool and for it to be showing up in your grade book. Now, it could take some time. If this was green, it could take some time for that to actually show up in your grade book. But if it has a green check mark, it should, after overnight or after a few minutes, show up. Another thing is that if you go into this settings tab, you can turn on a nightly sync. And what that means is that all of the ones that you've checked marked as green to be synced into the grade book, every night at about 1 a.m., they'll sync. That way you don't have to go to the grades and force it by saying sync. It will just do it every night for you automatically. But once again, once you've done the sync, or if you have it syncing overnight, if you go in and it's got this red sign right here, that's not good. It needs to have a green check mark for it to be completed. If you have any questions, just let me know.